Okay. So today we are going to focus more on practicals because the previous times we did the theory. Let's focus on theory. So I created a sample extension that we are going to be using. So I'm going to use the cloud. So we have the launch definition. Last time we talked about several parameters that we set, and today we are going to be looking at them. So to add this, if I can just start from adding this session, no, the configuration. Normally, when you create a new project, it comes with maybe this at the starting point. So it has launch, the request has launch, maybe sandbox and all these things. However, the launch is used when you're just publishing. Normally they use it to publish. You have the new changes and you want to publish to maybe upload some new changes. So if I want to debug, I'm needed to add some new configuration. So below here we have some configuration called attached to the client on the cloud, because I'm using the cloud, but there is also an attached to the client on your server. So this is on-prem. Now, for today, we are going to focus on the cloud. So I'm going to use this configuration attached the client on the cloud sandbox. When I click here, it will bring me the configuration that I want to use. So the name you can change in any way you want. Either attach, but you can write whatever you want because it will help you when you're selecting here to debug. So the name here, you can see if I click debug here, there are sections here. Currently, I have this attached. This name you can change it in any way. Type AL, then we change it. Then you see the request has changed to attach, because now we are going to attach on a given either session, a given session that you want to debug. So it is using attach than the previous one. Environment sandbox. Then we are going to begin with we are going to start with sandbox. So the environment name is also sandbox, but it depends on your mine is sandbox. I can go here using this one. So I have sandbox. Yeah. So that's why I'm using. Then we have this parameter here. We looked at it last time. Break on even. No, break on error. So if there are many options, I can just do this and receive them. It breaks on all errors that are in code. Whichever error it finds, it breaks. Then exclude try. In case you have a try function in the code, this one will exclude, it will skip, to not break on try, but to break on all other errors that you set in the code. And then none, it will not break on any error. So because there are many tries that you try to catch, we can try using the try catch such that we don't get many breaks. We reduce the number of breaks. Then we have another one, break on record write. Remember, we did look at this. But it breaks, this one breaks. There are many options also. I can look at them. So whenever there is a modify, insert, those things, whenever they are there, a record write, you want to write some information on a table. So this one will break before the modify, it will break. Before insert, whenever it reaches that point, it will break. Then exclude. Now this one involves both permanent and temporary tables. Any rates that are made to either a temporary table or I can call it permanent table, but just for opposite sex, but it is a table, normally a table and a temporary table. So exclude temporary will now it will break only when it finds a temporary table, but will exclude modifications made on or rights made on a temporary table in case you define your table as a temporary one. That one, it will exclude it. It will not break at that point. Then none, if you set it to none, it will not break on any record write. So meaning it will be going through, it will just, whenever it meets a modify or insert or what, it will just go on, just go on. Those are the three. So for now, we are going to use exclude temporary, such that we focus on only the permanent, the non-temporary tables. So these ones, they are used to show, they enable us see the SQL rates, SQL queries that are made whenever you're making any changes, maybe you're posting or deleting or writing, modifying. There are SQL queries in the background that are being formed, though we don't see there is some kind of hiding. So we shall be able to see them as we are debugging. Then the other is break on next. Now, break on next, it specifies an attach or the debugger will attach to the next client session or a session, a client session. But now there are also many options here. The first one that you've seen, these are extra. The background session or client can be like a query, and how are they called? Maybe you run a job, a queue. I mean queues. Those queues that run in the background, so it can be in that format. Then the web client, these ones came because of some. The common one is background web client. The web client is your web session whenever you run, like this one that I have here, and it is the one that you are going to be using. The web session that is here. So this is called a client. Web client is the one that we are going to be using for this case. So, okay, there is a web service client and then a web client. But we are going to use, okay, a web service client is like these They are the which one? The how are they called? Web services. When when you're using web services like don't give me an example web client. I just skipped my mind. Is when you're connecting, when you're consuming a business center. Or data, yes, or data. When you're consuming those ones, when you're soap, soap, then or data. Yeah. So those are the web services. So and then the web client is this one that we have seen here, the one I've shown you. So that's the difference. The three main that we are talking about in the documentation: web client, background, and then web service client. Don't need this one. So the other one we need is we can use the tenant also. We can specify it, the tenant ID, and the way we can get this one is so here. Let me just be on the, but it's the same anyway. If I make so here. So the tenant ID is this one here. Hope you can see it. This one. So whenever you check your URL, you'll find it there. So you can just copy it just to be specific such that other people cannot connect to your cannot just come into your sessions, interact. So the other thing that I can set is firstly I can set the session ID. I can use the session ID to also connect that I want to connect to this session. I think those that have used the Carl, you've seen that is also done. So let me just show you how to see the session. For this case, I go to help, then help support. Then down here, I will see the session ID. So I can copy this one, the session ID, and then I use that. Or I can also use, so I can use that, or I can use the user ID. So for this case, the user ID, when I go to users, so this one, the username. So you just copy the username. Yeah, I can use Kim. So, however, if I want to use someone else's username other than mine, like if I want to use info, then there is a given permission that I should be having. If I use mine, it's no problem. But if I want to use another user, I want to tap into some other user's session, then I need to use this. You need to have this permission here. It's called D365 attach debug. So if you don't have it, then you cannot proceed to attach on some other user's session. Okay. So having completed this configuration, so this one is enough for us. We are going to be seeing several. So the other thing we can do is you can see I set, but I can remove them for now. I can remove them. These are breakpoints that I had set. Remove them. Okay, so I'm going to, for now, start, or I can do any breakpoints if I want. I can do a breakpoint, maybe, okay, breakpoints, what they do, whenever you're running a debugger and you've set breakpoints, so the debugger will go to that particular breakpoint when the code runs. It breaks whenever there's a breakpoint, and the first one it meets is where it stops. So it will be focusing on only the breakpoints. If you don't put any breakpoints, then it will give you it will just go where there are errors because we have set this. Maybe we should start with that before using the breakpoints, and we see how it breaks using these ones. Though even if you have the breakpoints, it will follow these break on write. So let us begin with that before setting any breakpoint. So we don't have any breakpoints for now. I'm going to run the debugger. So the way you run the debugger, you go here, and then you click this debug, run and debug. Then you check the name of your configuration. For this case, have attach Microsoft Cloud Sandbox. That's the one I'm going to use. So when I select it, then I click run. Having clicked it and run, she brings, I think this is familiar to most of us. It is connecting, starting the debug session using launch configuration, this token, and then it gives you the tenant here. And it is connection established. Actually, it has been. So we said that it's going to connect to the next. What I'm going to do, let me just copy this. Let me just copy this and I paste it. So I've run. Now you see that they have been activated. Before they had not been activated. Most of these were disabled. So because I said the next, so it wasn't connecting to the current. The next, this is what this means. Our configuration that connects to the next web client, not the current. That's why it has connected after. So I'm going to go and check where it has stopped. So when you check here, it is on user login time tracker. So when you look at where it has stopped, it is saying if not user login.modify. So because we set a break on write, break on record write, we said exclude temporary. So there is a modify, there is a write here. That's why it is breaking. So going through the code is breaking, and you can see that on logging in, it is not proceeding because there is a break here. So I can just continue if there is, I have no issue with that one. Proceeds. Going to proceed. In debug version. Okay, it proceeded to this, but it can also, it found another write. So that's why the more configuration you set, the more you're going to face the breaks. So there is another break because there is another modifier of the table. You're modifying the table or writing on the table. So it is giving you another break. So it will be there until maybe if you continue. I'll show you these ones later. Let me just skip this. Then I'm going to show you these ones when we reach maybe on our item. So let me just continue. Okay. So also, we shall go through these ones, but let me continue for now. This one is for continuing. You're saying, let's skip this break and continue this first one. So it has proceeded and now there is no issue. So what I want to do, here there is another modify. I will skip this one. Okay. So what I want to do, I want to maybe delete an item. Try to delete an item. And then we go through this section here. You can see that we have variables, we have watch, we have call start. The breakpoints, we have not yet set them. So we have them for now. So I want to, let me skip this. This is also an insert. As I told you, it's a record write. I want to keep it. Keep it. And many writes. So you can see how this can be interesting, how you can get very many breaks when you set the break on write. Okay, so let me go to items. Okay, sorry, on mute. I want to delete this item here and we see what happens on this section because this is the section you use for following the debugging. So I'm deleting, delete. So delete Athens, then we proceed to delete. As we are deleting, you can see that it has gone into a debug. These ones have activated and there is it is here on this point here. So we go now to this section. We have the call stack. It shows you, it can show you where whatever you've done. You see we started on delete. So from there, it went to checking documents. That's how it moves. It's a stack of the processes that have happened based on what you've done. Then check items, it goes to this. Then on after check documents, it goes here. Then item on before check documents, then the check purchases. So this is where the error is. The error is here. So when I go to these ones on top, we have variables. So this one shows you the global variables, the locals, and then the database statistics. This one is the one that shows you the SQL queries that have happened based on what you are performing, whatever you're performing. So we can begin with the database statistics. This shows you the SQL SQL. I can click here to drop it. It is loading. Okay, so we can have database statistics. So here we can see the current SQL latency, number of SQL executes, number of SQL queries that have been executed, 813, just in what you've done. And then number of SQL row reads, 3,732. So for you to do something small, yet in the background, so many things have happened. Logs. So what now below here, we can see now what has been executed. When you look at this, I think this is familiar to you. If you've done queries, SQL queries, select top one null from this, and then it proceeds. So this is a real query that is familiar to most of us who have been doing, who have ever done queries. Select top, something like that, because we selected an item. So this is a query, SQL queries that I run. So these come because of the other setting that we did, showing you the SQL queries in the launch. These ones here, enable them. So because we enabled them, that's why we are able to see them. Okay, I can go back and now check. So you can always go and review that. Then the other one, local variables. So whichever a stack, whole stack you select, it will be showing you the local variables that we set. Maybe you have a function, a procedure, and maybe you set a variable rec. That will be local. So all those variables are shown here. So here you have check field number, check field, that's check field number. You have these ones. All these are local. Local. There is even an error here. Also local. Cannot delete items because there is at least one outstanding. So this is the error, one standing. And whenever you're changing the stack, these variables are going to be changing. Let me show you. If I go to this stack here, items on before, check documents. So when I check there, they have not changed that much. If I check here, and then I go back to local, so they go on changing based on where you are, the local variables, and also the global variables, the same, they be changing. So let me just put here. So what we should just pick is that this will give you the local variables in that code stack that you are in, and then this one gives you the global variables. Taking a bit of time to change it, so we might not wait because I see the time is 8. Hey, let me see. Saying server time out, elapsed without receiving message. Okay. It's kind of disconnected. I need to connect it again. Back as post. So could be internet, I think. Just disconnected it, so I need to run it again. So we have our debugger, and then I do it. I run it again. It's disconnected, that's why we But if it was internet, how would I be able to connect here? See connection, not search post API. Okay. Okay, it is connecting. I don't know what had happened, but it has connected. Okay, so again, I need to activate this. Okay. It doesn't, because it is waiting for the next session. I need to get the next session. Okay, that's gone through. Faster time. I wanted us to go through the this watch, and we see what the watch does. It is running. Okay, as it is running, maybe I can go through the what these ones do. So we normally get this. This whoever has debugged has interfaced with this one. So what this one does, it will disconnect the debug. And then this one restarts. However, I was studying, and when you click, it as if removes the current debugging and then refreshes everything. Then this one, step into if you on maybe on okay, step into will go to the next closest line line of code. If I'm on a function like this one, this is the function, it will not go to this line here. Hope you can see if it is on 530 here, there is a function. It will not go to 531, it will rather go to the first line in this function. So it will go to this definition. Sorry. This definition. I can't navigate into it. But you will go to, okay, if it is that one, if it is this one, field activities queue. If it is, this is the function. If I use this step into, it will go to the first line in this function. Like now for its case, we'll go here. We'll go to this step into, then it will go to the next, go for each it goes to the next closest line, the code. Then if it is here, this is also they are on the here functions. So it will be going into the function. If it is here, it will go now down here because there is no function like that. Then step over ideally should, if you're here, it will step over that and should ideally go, or it doesn't go in the function, it will go to the next line here. But step into goes into the function, step over should come here, the next line. Then step out, if you are in the function, it will go out of that function and goes back to the initial stage. That is step out. Okay, so here. Oh, time. Magoba, are you giving us something next? Oh.
How many more?
To complete this, maybe 5.
Okay, you can check the 5.
Okay, let me do it faster here. Hope it doesn't disconnect this time round. Okay, it is giving me here a break. So I've already shown you that this shows you the global variables in this stack, and then local variables, and then database statistics. You have seen them. So what I want to show you is this watch. I will use the watch. So so what the watch does, maybe there is a variable here that you want to analyze how it changes based on maybe the different stacks. As you're going through the debugger or you're going through the stack, how a given variable changes with time. Let me get one variable here. I can even get purchase order, but I see there is nothing. But I can also get that one. I don't know why this thing is very slow. It is slow. As I was working, it was faster. So let me just use whatever I'm seeing here for purposes, because I asked for 5 minutes. But so I'm typing what is here. I'm going to type it here. I clicked add expression, then I'm typing it. I'm typing it like what you said, header, then I click enter. When I click enter, currently this one doesn't have anything. It is uninitialized at this point. Maybe if I change something here. Okay, you see at this point, you can see now that they are saying it is out of scope. It exists in the global, but now I'm following it. How does this variable change? So you can put as many variables as you want here that you want. However, it can even be bigger. Although this one, the one I chose, I need to choose something that changes, that has values. It has values. Okay, this is good. I can choose maybe item general. Let me just choose this one, item general. Probably it have something. Does it change? Let me see if it changes. Item general. Item general. I want to get something that has values that you can really see how it changes. Item. Fix. What should be internet. It has disconnected again. And yet I requested for 5 minutes. I think there is a problem with the internet, as you can see here, slow connection or timeout threshold, 5 minutes exceeded. So I think we can end there for now. The internet is not okay. So tomorrow I'll be doing this small part, and then I do a snapshot debugging from production, and also see the profiler. Back to you, Magoba. My 5 minutes done.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Kim, for that. We look forward to the remaining sessions. I think maybe by Wednesday should be done.
Yes.
There's something I gave Lynn. I think Lynn should also prepare for this week. Maybe just to ensure that we are getting something from these presentations. I'll ask maybe Joseph to, within 1 minute, to tell us what he has managed to pick up from what Kim has presented today.
Good morning, team. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can hear.
What I've managed to pick today is that you can use, okay, basically I've been not utilizing the debugger well. Like one of the things he talked about, like using the watcher, where you can pick a variable or a record, and then you can go on through the call stack to see how that value is changing. That's one of the things that I've picked. You can find that at the first stage, maybe the value is not set. Then maybe there's a set trend you maybe follow through, and you see how that value is being what modified or being edited, like how the values are changing in that record. Then the parameters that you set within your launcher.json, you can set a break on error, or even you can put a break on next. You can even debug per session, where you can go in and pick the session user, the user session, picking the user ID. Then things like you going under variables, and then you see under a section of variables where we went, and then is it under variables when we went and we saw that different SQL queries that are happening. You can write a logic, and then you find out that your whatever you're doing is making a lot of SQL queries that maybe even slow up the process. So sometimes you may need to find out why maybe your process is taking long, and maybe you can go in and see the number of queries that are being made, and then maybe you can find a ways of maybe optimizing it. That's what I managed to pick from this session.
Yeah, thank you very much, Joseph and Kim. At least I can confirm that Kim's presentation has been very, very useful. Those are really good insights. And I believe as you work with R, debugging is really a very, very key thing that we should all know. If you look at some of the challenges we find, some of the things that people normally log to me is that I've written this code, but the results are not as expected. So if you can monitor how these variables are being passed from stage to stage, that can help you also visualize the output of your code through the debugger. And I think also one of the key things that Joseph has also mentioned about is the performance. Sometimes we make very, very many calls to SQL that somehow affect the performance. So with this debugger, we can see those number of calls and probably see how to optimize our code. So Kim, this has been better and more informative than the previous sessions that you gave us. Keep it up. we expect to see more in those remaining areas. And I believe to the rest of the team, we can also try to see how Kim has prepared this, having these practical sessions, seeing the things practically is very, very useful. By the time we go back to the theory, things will be very, very good and easy to grasp. Yeah, thank you. Today I'll be working away from office. I'm available on Teams in case of anything. And I'd like to wish you a great day ahead. So this meeting, we can say, it has taken 30 minutes. Bye-bye.